Okay, now let us discuss an example of regression analysis. As we already discussed the theory, I had taken an example of two variables where one variable I had taken it as attendance and another variable I had taken it as marks. Clearly here by considering these two variables, we can say that marks is dependent variable and attendance is independent variable. Now these are some 8 random observed values we have here, some 8 values of attendance with respect to that those 8 students marks with respect to their attendance. So by giving this information, they have asked us to find the marks scored if the student's attendance is 70%. So they have given the known variable or independent variable which is 70%, and we need to calculate here marks, that is dependent variable, that is y. So they have given x and they have asked us to calculate y. So clearly it says that we have to fit a regression model of y on x. Now let us go with the calculation. As we already discussed the formulae, in the formulae of y regression equation of y on x, we require this needed to be calculated, that is y minus y bar is equal to byx into x minus x bar. So here y and x are variables, so these values only we will be using for those and whatever the given values, and the remaining are we are taking them as constants. So y bar is a constant, x bar is a constant, byx is a constant. Tentatively we don't know about those constants, but we can calculate them. How? By using these 3 formulae. So let us first calculate those 3 things. So to calculate them, before that first we need to calculate some columns, and under that the first column which we need to calculate is xy, summation xy, and then summation x square. Only these 2 columns are required to be calculated for further calculations. So I had taken again x and y values as it is. Now summation xy, we need to calculate xy column, so I had taken xy column, and summation x square, we need to calculate x square column, so I had taken x square here. How we are going to calculate this xy? By multiplying the column of x and y. How we got this 3250? By multiplying 65 and 50. 65 into 50, 3250. 70 into 54, 3780. Like that, if you repeat it for all the given 8 observation values, you are going to get the sum of all these values as 38,944. Similarly, summation x square, the square of x column, the first value is 65. If you square it, you are going to get 4225. 70 square, 4900. Like that, if you repeat it for 8 values, you are going to get these calculated values, and the total of all these values is summation of x square is equal to 45,390. Now by calculating these columns, required things, and also total of x and y are calculated. 583 as summation x, 501 as summation of y. Now to calculate x bar, we are going to use the simple formula which we have, summation x by n, that is 583 by 8. N is number of observations. Here we have 8 observations, so 583 by 8 is equal to 72.875. Similarly, y bar is 501 by 8, that is 62.625. Now we need to require to calculate regression equation of y and x. So for that we need to calculate byx, that is regressor coefficient. So simply the calculated terms, by simply substituting those values, you are going to get the regressor coefficient as 0.8591. Here the signs are very important. Here we have got a positive value, so we are going to keep it as positive value only. Now the fitting of regression model here is regression equation of y on x is y minus y bar is equal to byx into x minus x bar. Y minus 62.625, and that is whatever the calculated values are there, we have substituted it here. And after further simplifying this equation, we arrived at the last equation, which has y is equal to 0.8591x plus 0.0180. Now this equation is in the format of y is equal to a plus bx. This is nothing but a linear equation, and this we can also write it as y hat, because these are not exact values whatever we are going to get here, but instead of that we can say that as approximate or appropriate values of y, that is marks obtained. Now by considering this equation whatever we have obtained here, we focus on question. What is the question they have asked us to calculate? They have asked us to calculate the marks when the attendance is 70%. So that is x value is 70, then what is the value of y? So simply in this equation, in the place of x we are going to substitute 70. So after substituting the value of x as 70, we will get the marks as 60 marks. That is, if the student's attendance is 70%, we are going to get the result as 60 marks. So this is nothing but a regression, fitting of a regression analysis. Now sometimes we may get a two variables where one is dependent on another. In the same case it can be reversed also. For an example, if you consider an example of demand and supply, sometimes demand is considered as dependent variable and supply is considered as independent variable, and sometimes supply is considered as dependent variable and demand is considered as independent. In that case we can fit the regression analysis of x on y as well as y on x. What does this mean? If demand is given, we can calculate supply. If supply is given, we can calculate demand. In the similar case here in this example, if attendance is given, we can calculate how many marks he can score in the main examination.